Now we're back to learning JavaScript and Exercism. This time I'm going to talk about Anagram, another exercise that's labeled as easy. In principle, we are going to look for words and check if they're anagrams of other words. But there are two cases. So right here, if a word is the same as the word that we are checking, it's not an anagram. And we also must check for lower and uppercase. And if it's written in a different way, so we have stop, but it's written in a different uppercase, lowercase version, it's still not an anagram. So we need to be careful with this. Let us first check the tests, and we can see here we've got good, for example. We could define that as a target. So we're checking good against other words in this array, in this case dog and goody. Here we have solemn, and this is an anagram of lemons and melons. Here is an uppercase orchestra, so we'll have to be careful with it. It's compared to lowercase words in our array. And you can see go and uppercase go in our array, so we'll need to check that as well. Let us start here. We've got our target, so this would be orchestra, for example. And the second parameter would be a word list, anagram set. I've just called it word list here. So this would be cash register, cart horse, and radishes in this case. At first, we want to modify our target. So let me declare a new variable. I call it modify target. Then we'll set it equal to the target in an array, but we want to spread it out directly, so I use the spread operator. This makes every single letter in orchestra, for example, a single element in this array. Now we want to take care of the lower and uppercase, so we'll make everything lowercase. So we need, after the target, we need dot to lowercase. This would turn this O in orchestra, which is uppercase, to a lowercase. So we've got that covered. Then we use sort. If you've never used that method, you can read more, for example, here. It works for numbers, so it uses 0, 1, and then 10 would come because 10 starts with a 1. Then it finds the 2, the 20, the 3, and so forth. For the alphabet, that means here we've got an example. And would be the first element after sort. Then we'll check for the letter B. You have it in B, then the letter C in cat, and so forth. So this is what it by default does when you just sort an array like we're doing here. And finally, we'll have to join it again. So what we're doing basically, in the case of orchestra, we're going to make everything lowercase. We're going to put every letter into an array as a single element. And then sort is going to sort it alphabetically. And afterwards we'll join it again to have a single word. And this will now be a word. It's made up of the letters in alphabetical order. So in simple terms, this is what code line 7 does. And now we want to check it, and we can directly return our word list after we have adjusted that. And first up, we need to compare it to the target. So if it's equal, it's not an anagram. So let me use dot filter for the word list, which is the array. Then word for the specific word in the array, for example, the cash register. And then I check this word. I have to make it lowercase as well, as our target is lowercase after I've modified it. And we can directly compare this to our target dot lowercase. So this was this case right here. Word is not its own anagram. For example, stop is not an anagram of stop. So if the word in our word list is unequal to our target, but don't forget the dot to lowercase, then this won't be returned. This would be returned. So if it's equal to, it wouldn't be, but we've used the exclamation mark for unequal to, so this will be returned and put into our anagram array that is returned by this function. Now let's take care of the second case. So we need AND operators. We basically need to perform the same operations that we've done in code line 7 to our target. So we need a spread operator. Afterwards, we'll need to set it to lowercase. Then we'll have to sort it and finally join it again. And then we'll compare it to our modified target. And if it's equal to the modified target, it will be returned. So in easy terms, this part of code line 8 is the same as the one in code line 7, but this time it's performed on the word in our word list. So code line 7 was for a modified target that we are comparing to the words in the word list. Let me run it and I'll check if I've done any typos here. Oh, we're good. Let me go over an example. Let's say test 2. We've got a solemn as the target. So code line 7 takes this, it spreads it out in an array, turns it into lowercase, it already is, and then we'll sort it. So the first letter would be an E, then it would be L, M, N, O, S, if I'm not mistaken, so Elmnos. We would join it so that we have this single word then as the modified target. And we do the same for our word in the word list, our array. So for example, lemons, and lemons would equal Elmnos after we've performed this operation. Therefore, this word is now returned, and we know it's an anagram. And this is how you can solve this anagram exercise on Exercism. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.